Alright. Rifleman 399 here. Gonna do a walkthrough slash tutorial stream. Yeah. This is SubNautica. It's a really fun game. It's a little lonely. Maybe not be the most exciting game there is. But it's all exploration. It's open world. You know, it's fun. That's what makes it fun. And of course, survival is the challenge. Instead of, you know, running around trying to survive zombies, you're running around trying to survive leviathans and stuff. And other small little creatures that... we're gonna skip the beginning here. Alright. Yeah, when you first start off, there's fire or whatever. You grab the fire extinguisher and put it out. That's where you get your med kits. It'll slowly restore itself. This is a little storage container right here. I think flares are pretty useless, but whatever. Let's grab some water. I like to keep that brick of food. So yeah, I mean, when you first start off, you're not really sure what you're doing. Let me see if I can get a point here. This is your oxygen that runs out. You die. Go to the surface for more air. That's your health. If you get attacked too much, you die. That's your food. If you starve, you die. And that's your water. If you dehydrate, you die.
The Aurora suffered orbital hull failure. Cause unknown. Zero human life. Signs detected.
This is your fabricator. This is basically what makes everything in the game. Your resources. You know, you gather stuff from the ground and you build it in here. Food, water, resources, electronics, your gear. That O2 tank. Fins are pretty important. Let me see how I make rubber again real quick. Cluster seeds. Alright, here we go. Let's climb to the top just to get a feel for things. Basically, I guess that music is for dramatic emphasis. Your ship crash lands here. You're not really sure why just yet. It's an ocean planet. There's a... Let me see. Aurora's here. There's like an island over there. There's another island like over there. That's the best island to go to, but for right now, let's get some gear going. Normally I shoot these videos and upload them, but my video editor is on Fritz. So first things first, I need an oxygen tank so I can last longer here. So here's metal salvage. You'll pick that up. You can go to the fabricator and make your titanium, but before I go do that, I'm going to try to find some seaweed here so that I can make flippers. Yeah, there's more. If you can't find metal salvage, oh man, you do not last long
Oxygen.
in the beginning. So yeah, you can get titanium from limestone, but most importantly, you can, oh, there we go. You can get copper. Man, copper and silver are probably the two most important minerals you can get. These little,
New creature discovered.
these are bladderfish. That's how you're
Alien life forms may have unexpected applications.
That's how you're gonna get your water.
Utilizing alien resources is a proven survival strategy.
Resist the urge to like grab too much stuff, but I am hungry, so
Oxygen.
Come here, you little bastard. Dang it. Back up. Yeah, resist the urge to overfarm in the beginning. There we go.
New creature discovered.
It's basically how you're going to feed yourself for a little while.
New creature discovered.
Don't eat the bladderfish. They're basically just your water supply. So go to the fabricator, turn that metal salvage into titanium. Now you see up at the top there it says power 6575. That's how much power the life pod has. It'll slowly regenerate in the sun because everything's solar powered, but at nighttime, nothing. So kind of depends on how you feel, you know, about making stuff during the day or making stuff at night. I got sidetracked a little bit there. was supposed to get rubber. But anyway, so that's how you make your water, was a bladderfish. You can cook bladderfish, but like I said, I wouldn't do that. Just keep that for your water.
The fabricator cooks small organisms while disposing of the skeletal structure, bodily fluids, and internal organs, thus rendering them safe for human consumption. It is common for those accustomed to synthetic foods to be repulsed by eating an animal carcass. Remember that humans survived this way for millennia. You can too.
So there we go. That's my first oxygen tank. Very good to have. The rest of this isn't. Air bladder, yeah, all that stuff comes in a little bit. That's kind of the first thing you're doing. Now, when you first make something, like, yeah, see, it automatically gets equipped, so you don't have to worry about it. Let's see if I can remember where that seaweed was. I think it was over here. I should have just pressed on. But anyway, yeah, don't collect a lot of fish and then cook a lot of fish because they rot. So pretty much just catch fish when you're hungry. I think I'm going the wrong way, obviously. That's okay. I'm eventually going to make a battery. So let's grab 2 mushroom. And you always want to be looking out for lime, copper, yeah, exactly.
Component of all powered equipment.
Yeah, like 1
Your
quart.
probability of survival has just increased to
Oh, those little bastards. Yeah. They come out of these eggs, they come after you and they explode. Apparently that was 2.
30 seconds.
You kind of need to find one right away in the game, because in the egg is sulfur. You only need 1. For a long time, you really only need 1. So, see if you can find one. Grab it. So now I'm hurt. So let's use that. First aid, very good. Go on swimming. Another thing you're looking for later is going to be these wrecks here. It's where you're going to find a lot of your recipes and stuff. You don't start with everything, so obviously you're going to have to explore to find wrecks to get. There we go. A couple of those. See, like here's one right here. But I don't have a scanner yet, so that's probably a bioreactor, yeah. So I wish I knew which way that was, but in the beginning, until you can make a compass, you're kind of guessing which way you're going. So best way to do things is see where your life pod is, and then look where the Aurora is. All right, so it's between my pod and the Aurora. The Aurora is your ship, obviously. So meanwhile, I'm swimming back and forth. It was important to get those seeds. It's also important to keep diving down. You're not looking for titanium as much as you are copper, but keep breaking limestone. Get that copper. Get it. I think just 1 quartz was all I needed. Yeah, you always want to be like actively looking for bladderfish. You know, you never want to be out somewhere and find out that you're out of water. You know, and then you can't find bladderfish until you get a knife and you find sea salts. Then you'll be able to like make your own water. I feel kind of bad for, you know, the fauna at the beginning of the game. You know, you're just catching fish and eating them, draining them for their water. Kind of mean. I'm a scuba diver, so most of that goes against what I try to do. Alright, so there we go. So now I have enough to make flippers. There we go. So now I'll move a little faster underwater, which is good.
The fabricator draws from available data to provide
Alright, so
equipment.
Shut up. Okay, yeah, there you go. Repair tool.
For your safety, this setting cannot
I got lucky. I found cave sulfur and I made an extra silicone rubber. And I had extra titanium. And I have also enough for survival knife. Both are very important.
Weapons were removed from standard survival blueprints following the massacre on Abraxas Prime. The knife remains the only exception.
Yeah, listening to her is a little annoying during tutorials, but honestly, it's kind of the only human contact you get, which is sad, pathetic, but whatever. So anyway, grab the repair tool that you made. We're going to repair this, which will repair the life pod a little bit, which doesn't really do much other than gets the smoke out, turns the lights on. would be.
diagnostic and
But more
navigational
importantly,
results to
yeah, the
database.
radio. Now the radio is going to give you locations of missing life pods, all that stuff.
Distress signal received. Rescue operation will be dispatched to your location in 9.
It's probably really too loud to be listening to this. Let's turn this down a little bit. Ah, screw it.
9 hours. Continue to monitor for emergency transmissions from other life pods.
Okay, so periodically you'll get radio calls and they'll send you to life pods and stuff, which is pretty important. Now let's see. You're really focused on gear. You got food and a little bit of water, so you really want gear. This is a good one to have, the air bladder, but this is the most important. Now remember, I grabbed 2 mushrooms and I happen to find 2 copper, or 1 copper. So I'm gonna make a battery.
New blueprint acquired.
Power cells are for like vehicles, so don't worry about that. Scanner is super important.
The scanner can be used to synthesize blueprints from salvage technology.
So I am gonna have
to
to
biological
see. Look,
data.
yeah, you get the scanner. You start putting stuff in your. You start putting stuff in your, whatever it is, in your data banks. I don't know. I don't really know what the importance is of like scanning life, but I know it's super important. Get back here, little fish. That's mean, but whatever. Do I have any silicon left? Not. I think I needed that for something else, yeah. So here, it's nighttime. This is kind of the worst time to try to go exploring, but there's very little you can do about it during your first day. I also got to keep track of time. I got to get out of here in like 10 minutes, so it's going to be a short tutorial. But yeah, you have limited storage on you and limited storage in your life pod, so don't go overboard. Just grab like what you need. Okay, now there was... Don't be too worried about a lot of the noises you hear. When you're in the shallow, they call these the shallows for, you know, obvious reasons, shallow. You're generally safe here. You might find a stalker a little outside when you get to these, but for the most part, they're not really predators. They don't really come after you. They will bite you if you get too close, though. So yeah, there we go. Biofragments. Boom. So it says up there, scanned overall progress 50%. So I need to find 1 more piece to be able to make bioreactors. This is just salvage, but
short-range scans suggest this biome supports extensive biodiversity and connects to a number of small cave networks.
Now, as long as you keep the fish on you, you don't cook them, they'll stay alive in your pocket, which is weird. Oh, there's a stalker right there. Yeah, I'm not going to cut that. You can just avoid all creature eggs for a long time.
30 seconds.
Do I need? I did need something. Yeah, let's grab 1 more, go to the surface. Yeah, first day is the worst, man. It's the worst. The reason I pointed out that island all the way over there, it's... I can't remember if that's west, but that way
on this planet
from the Aurora.
in unusually distinct and diverse ecological biomes. Further study recommended.
And I'm still playing around trying to figure out what I can learn where. Oh yeah, but anyway, yeah, okay, so now this is kind of a little bit of a wreck. It's little pieces, so now that I have a scanner, now I can start looking around. Sometimes things are hidden in these little backside of these boxes. Sometimes you don't get squat, and it's just, you know, around for metal salvage, but this is how you get your recipes, so. Alright, so still swimming back. I'm gonna make an air bladder. Until you get a ship, like a sea moth, the air bladder is super important. You'll use it and it'll pop you up to the surface. I mean, in scuba diving that would kill you, but in this game it doesn't seem to matter. So what's important is not dying, and you need air. So what do we got here? Gear, tools. What happened? Oh, silicon rubber. That's right.
Detecting increased local radiation levels. trend is consistent with damage to the Aurora's drive core, sustained during planet fall.
There we go, air bladder's good. Let's turn that little guy into water again. Do I have any food? I do not have any food. This is kind of how you make like jerky. It's all the fish recipes you have, but you add salt deposits to it. They'll last a little bit longer, but not really super long, so, you know, don't worry about it. But yeah, so you're kind of always actively trying to get fish. I really hate that it shows you grab them. It's just kind of mean. So yeah, I'm only doing this because I'm hungry. If you run out of power, if your container runs out of power, I shouldn't take that. If your container runs out of power, it'll stop being able to make oxygen. Not important to the escape pod, but important to when you start creating labs underwater and stuff. Alright, so I should probably go about making a battery now, because I want to make a flashlight. Even though now that it's daytime, nighttime will come again. Grab those mushrooms. Come on in here. I need a battery. I need a battery. I'm also missing a quartz. I forgot that I needed glass, not a quartz. So I have 1 quartz already. You need 2 to make glass. So hopefully I can find that cave again. Yeah, so sulfur and quartz you're mostly going to find in like caves. You guys want to keep your eye out for these. Yes, copper. Awesome. Copper is the only thing you can start collecting just furiously, you know? Just don't let it go. You always need it. That's so mean. Alright. Another way of making water. If I can find salt deposits. Salt deposits generally start like about the second biome down. Just where I'm at here. Also where you start collecting. Oh, sea glide. Okay, so sea glides are good.
30 seconds.
Oh, let's go ahead and use the bladder. It's faster than you can swim, but it only goes up. Good for an emergency breach. Okay, so the sea glide, which was the fragment I just found, I need to find another one. It's kind of like an underwater propulsion system. I forget the scuba diving term for that, but it's a submersible. That's a little weird. Yeah, see those things, they're loud, but you know, if you just swim away from them, they don't really follow you much. Generally what they do is they go around grabbing salvage, picking it up, moving it around. I don't really know why they do that, but they'll drop... Oh, hey, sandstone. Yeah, sandstone.
Silver-based
Silver's good.
are an essential component of many habitat modules.
Yeah, lead's sort of important. Not really right off the bat, but a little later. So I'll grab
30 seconds.
one. Now you can last like maybe 5 or 6 seconds after you completely run out of oxygen, but everything gets really dark, and then you die. So I wouldn't advise it. But yeah, later on, these stalkers, when they grab a piece of salvage, they'll drop a tooth. You pick up the tooth from the ground. Oh, there we go, salt. Okay, great. That's important to make like hardened glass, or enameled glass, whatever they call it. That's just a tidbit for later, because I couldn't understand how to make enameled glass, how to find a stalker tooth. Basically, just follow them around. They'll grab a salvage. More salt. But yeah, see, they don't really come. They'll come after you if you get too close. Just swim away, and you're fine. All right, so I think I found the copper I needed, but I haven't found a quartz yet. There's another. It's probably my other sea glide. Mobile vehicle bay. Super important. Oh, that looks like a big wreck right there.
Oxygen.
Probably going to lose sight of that. Later on, you'll be able to make a compass that'll go under that. It says how many meters you are underwater. I really wish I could switch that to Imperial. Oh, here we go. So that's soccer. Oh, you dick. So what was that? Never seen them drop anything other than a tooth, but I lost it, so whatever it was. But yeah, they'll drop a tooth. I don't really need a tooth. There you go. There's the radio symbol. Radio symbol says that my radio now has a message. Let's go get that. I'm just trying to find one more quartz before I go back. Boo, titanium. I think I'm running out of time, too.
30 seconds.
Yeah, I got like 5 more minutes. This will be one of many streamings that I do, so don't worry. This is just part 1. There we go. Swimming on the surface is safer, but, you know, like if I would have stayed up there, I would have missed this, which is the mobile vehicle bay. So I need to pick one, find one more of those. Those are really important, because that's how you make your sea moth and your cyclops and your prawn, which are the 3 known ships. I mean, I'm still in early access, but, you know, it's whatever. It was the 8th of January, 7th of January. In a few more days, well, 20 more days, 21 more days, they should release the game. So we'll see where, you know, where the game goes. I'm just grabbing some salt deposits because I know that if I find some coral, copper, oh yeah, copper and quartz. Gotta watch out when you come into these. This is where those bastard fish are. The kamikazes, they are mean. You'll kind of get, you'll eventually get to a point to where you'll have so much, like, you'll just have enough titanium and you'll just be sick of it. You just don't know. Okay, here we go. Might get a little dark. Yeah, see how it's starting to fade? That fades all the way out. You die. But if you die, you just go back to your life pod or the last structure you've been in. Like, you know, your own made structure. Alright, so let's check out that radio message.
Signal location uploaded to PDA.
This is LifePod 3, uploading our coordinates. We're plugging some holes in our emergency sea glide, so if we're late for the rendezvous, don't panic. Also, don't go home without us. Seriously. 3 out.
Alright, so there you go. Now this right here, the habitat builder, that's how you're going to make structures underwater. And something I don't agree with in the game is you have to go all the way over to that island to get schematics. I know it's spoiler, sorry. Should try not to be spoiling, but it's not like I'm showing you where it is. But that's how you get... Oh, wait a minute, what time is it? Sorry. Oh boy, I have an emergency. Alright, sorry. That's the end of the stream. Let's save the game here. I forgot that I needed to leave 30 minutes ago. I just realized. Anyway, well, thanks for watching. Just part 1. I'll get more later. But thanks for watching. Subscribe. Check out more videos in the future. All right, have a good night.